Hey there everybody, it's Missy with the Bella Boulevard creative team. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am creating a summer layout today. This week we are focusing on summer or 4th of July, and so I pulled out the Secrets of the Sea boy and girl collections, and I'm going to use some of the papers from both of those collections to create a fun tropical summary layout. And this cut file is actually a freebie cut file from the Paper Issues store. I'm going to scrap these two pictures of me and my husband. This is us last year trying to have dinner on the beach in Aruba, and the wind would not stop. I mean, every single day it was really breezy, and so we would get dressed up and try to go to dinner, and the wind was it would just blow your hair all over your face. And if you're a girl, you know how crazy that can be. And so I finally just said, you know what? I'm just going to laugh about this. And so I got some funny pictures of us, or of me, with my hair all in my face, and we're just being silly about it. So I'm going to peel off these flowers and leaves. Like I said, this is from Paper Issues, and it's hibiscus flowers and some really fun tropical leaves. And I have 3 papers from Secrets of the Sea boy and 3 papers from Secrets of the Sea girl, and they go together really nicely. These are actually all the B-sides. Most of them. One of them, the navy color, is one of the A-sides. So I've got the flowers all kind of arranged, kind of like the idea that I have in my head. And I'm going to actually use some of the little insides of the flowers that I punched out. I'm going to tuck those in a couple places as well. So my background paper is also Secrets of the Sea. It's from the boy collection. And it's got a very light blue grid design on top of white, so it makes a great background paper. Now I'm going to do some mixed media, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to come over this almost the whole sheet with some white gesso, and you can still see the grid underneath it. I didn't cover it completely solid white, but I want to protect the paper because it is just pattern paper, and if you add too much water to it, it may start to tear and warp a lot, and the gesso helps with that. So these are the Illustrated Faith Shanna's Favorites watercolors from Bella Boulevard, and I'm just going to sort of use the watercolor on some plastic packaging here and smush it down just to get some color going. I want the color on the background to sort of show through and around all of those flowers once they're back on the paper. So I'm going to kind of mix the orange and that golden mustardy yellow over on the upper right, and then kind of create some really pretty pink shades down at the lower left, because I'm going to have the pink flower over the orange and the orange flower over the pink. And so I kind of wanted to mix and match the colors that are behind the flowers. So this packaging technique, if you're new to scrapbooking or you've never tried mixed media but you want to give it a try, get some plastic packaging just like this, color on it or spray on it, and then just flip it over and smush it down. You can't go wrong with it. It's super easy, and it's a lot of fun, and it's also pretty fast. Now I'm just dipping my brush into the paint and into some water and just splattering it around. And it looks like a mess right now, but once you start to add everything on top of it, it's going to look totally different. And I'm just using a napkin or a paper towel there to kind of dab up some of the wet spots. And I'm going to use my heat gun here just to dry it because I was impatient, wanted to get going. So now I'm going to come back in with the flowers and kind of see what I've got and see how it looks so far. And you can see now that I'm starting to cover up a lot of it, it looks a lot different. And one thing I love to do with mixed media is to have it to where it looks like it's just kind of peeking out from behind everything. And so right now you can see the edges of it kind of peeking around the flowers, and that's kind of what I wanted. And you can also see it coming through the middle of those flowers, which also gives the illusion of, you know, there's another pink flower down there, but really there isn't. So something else I like to do is add some tissue paper behind my pictures. It just gives a little subtle border around the pictures without being, you know, too overbearing or too busy. Doesn't take away from the pictures or the background, but it just gives a little layer of something there. Now I decided, since I've got some light blue going through in the flowers, that I needed a little bit of light blue on the background. And so I took that turquoisey blue and added some of the white paint to it. And again, I'm just doing the packaging technique. And I like to, you know, do some of the watercolor and then bring everything back on top of it and see what it looks like and see where I need to add something. And then I'll move it and add the paint and then put everything back, see how it looks. you know, and I'm getting tongue-tied. Some things are going to get covered up. That's just the nature of watercolor or mixed media scrapbooking. You know, some of it is going to get covered up. Now here I decided, I don't know why, I just wanted to add a little bit different shades of orange and yellow up in the upper right area. And so I pulled out my gelatos, and the more I did it, the more I wish I wouldn't have done it. And it turns out okay, but it just got really orange there for a second. And so I tried to use my white gesso to kind of soften it up a little bit. And it's still really bright, but it winds up looking okay. I think it matches the lower flower orange pretty well. So this is some adhesive foam that I have in my stash. I like to use it behind photos or embellishments if I want to raise them up a little bit off the page. It's a great way and pretty cheap way to add dimension to pretty much anything, because you can cut it and it has adhesive on one side. And I actually got that from Walmart. It's a huge stack of, I think, 50 or 60 different color sheets of foam. It's in the kids' Crayola aisle, but it's a lot of fun, and it's goes a long way. So now I'm going to work with the leaves and kind of tuck those in. I only cut 4. I was debating about whether to cut some more, but I think that 4 looks okay. I didn't want to go too leafy. So something else that I enjoy doing on my layouts is adding thread, and this is just cheap sewing thread, and I have some light blue, some of the golden yellow, and some of the pink. I try to match the colors that I have going on in the layout. Orange is tricky because there's so many different shades of orange. I do have some orange thread, but not any colors that match the orange in this layout. So like I said, most of what I'm using here so far, everything I'm using so far, is from Secrets of the Sea. And there's a boy collection, a girl collection, and they mix and match very nicely, as you can see. I decided to dig into some of my Illustrated Faith paper piece die cuts for some embellishments. That flamingo is adorable, and it is from the Basics collection. Had to use it. It's super cute. I also pulled out a few designer paper clips from Secrets of the Sea, and I tucked one in at the very top above the top picture there. And then I went into some of my fundamental stickers, and I just used one from the Basics collection. It says Summertime, and I just tucked it at the bottom of the top photo. This is the fundamental sheet from Secrets of the Sea Girl, and I just had to use this sticker. It says I can't even, and it just makes me laugh because that's what I was thinking in that moment. I was trying to get ready to eat my dinner, and my hair was literally over my face, and it wouldn't stop. And yeah, I couldn't stand it at the time, but I eventually just had to laugh it off. So this, I had to use these. These are some super cute palm tree stickers. Those are from Illustrated Faith, Delight in His Day. And I totally forgot that those were on there until I just happened to see them, and I thought, I have palm trees in my pictures. I should use those. And so I tucked those 2 in there. I think they look really cute, and they mimic what's in the picture. And those are just cardstock stickers. And so then I thought I would kind of make the flowers look a little more dimensional. So I'm just going to go and add a little bit of paint around the edges and just smush the paint around with my finger. And you can see the difference that makes. It just makes the flower look a little more realistic, because there's some little darker spots and some lighter spots. I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. And I do wind up stitching with some green thread through the centers of all of those leaves at the very end. Now for my title, I went back and forth. I wasn't sure what to name this. I went into my stash of the Bella Boulevard tiny text stickers, which basically they have in almost every color. And I decided on green, and I thought I would just make my title Breezy Memories. And I thought that's just boring. And then Easy Peasy, Easy Breezy popped into my head. And so Easy Breezy is going to be the title. And then I'm going to put Aruba down underneath that using some of the pink capital letter alphas, because we were in Aruba. And I do wind up having to add some glue behind all of those letters, not because they don't stick well, but because I added the gesso. And when you add gesso first, stickers of any kind really have a hard time sticking down. So I use the grid marks on the background paper to write some journaling, and then I do add a little bit of stitching and my date And that's the final layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun to put together. I love making summer pages. I think the colors in this are fantastic. The watercolor really adds another bright element next to all those fun papers. And I think it's fun to mix and match collections. So I hope you will give this a try. Make sure you check out the blog each day this week for some more summer inspiration using all kinds of different Bella Boulevard collections. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.